Today we're going to be looking at a scenario where Civilization started over. Today we're on episode 10 of the series. And in the last episode we saw some expansion and a little bit of changes. And as you can see, there's a lot of changes. We also see some trading lines. So yeah, and these trading lines might become borders someday. Who knows? Who cares? And in this episode, we're gonna see a pretty huge collapse of a country, and it's going to be two of probably the biggest countries in the world. The second biggest country, the Jordan country, and the first being this Ecuadorian. They're both going to collapse, not fully though. So yeah, so the first collapse is going to be down south over here. And I probably knew you guys would think that these countries would collapse. And yes, these countries collapse. So these empires can be a little too big, but you know. And there's going to be two pretty big. Oh, not that big. Oh, nope, not that big. Two pretty big breakaways. And this is going to rupture the economy of that Ecuadorian country a lot. Sorry for the background noise. And it's going to destroy it. Like tons. I mean like tons. So yeah. And so now we're going to go to this country. So this country didn't really plan to collapse, but you know, it was probably going to collapse. I think y'all was going to predict that. And their first collapse is going to be right here. And there's going to be around a couple new nations. Right here. Right here. And another one right here. Just gonna fill these in.
With certified Culligan filtration, something extraordinary happens. You get cleaner.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm just kidding. This is just gonna go to this country. So yeah. So we're gonna see another province breakaway. It's gonna be. Oh. And that's gonna be around right here. Right here, it's gonna be a pretty big one. And this is not really where much of their oil comes from. Usually comes from over here, but whatever. Just gonna do the capitals of these countries real quick. Okay. Here and here. So yep, so yeah, this kind of collapse. And we're gonna see the first major war. Now this war. Oh wait, no, y'all, I forgot to color this in. So this is the age of exploration. So we are gonna see tons of like exploration. Can't pronounce it. Exploration. Whatever. Okay. Okay, whatever. So tons of countries are gonna, tend to expand just for land. It is kind of, and there is, like, this country is kind of weirded out that Sweden took this land and not this land, because they knew that a new country was going to form here. So yeah. And at the end of the episode, we're going to see something kind of weird happen. So, yeah, it's going to be very important. So, our first major war is going to happen over here in Asia. And Asia is kind of like arguing right now who's like kind of like the leader of this alliance. And the one who started it was kind of like the red country, Bangladesh and China. I think it's China though, because they kind of funded it more. It's definitely not Korea because they're literally the newest member of the alliance. So yeah. But they're gonna argue. China and Bangladesh are gonna argue as they were one of the first countries to join this alliance. I think they were the ones that actually made it. Their relations are going down, so they're gonna start a war, and it's kind of gonna be. And it kind of happens because of two reasons. One, the trade routes and who should get more. And this province right here. This is probably the biggest province Bangladesh has. They do maybe have some right here. And maybe one right here. Maybe they got one splitting the country into. But that's basically it. They really don't have a bigger province. Who knows, the one that's splitting through could be bigger, who knows, but in my opinion, the one right here is bigger, so they're gonna have to kind of fight over it, so yep, so China's gonna be the one to claim war, because they're kind of tired of this, and they've already gone through a lot, but whatever, they're gonna start invading, and this might actually ruin the relations with their other countries, as they're also allies with Bangladesh, but, after a couple months and weeks and days of non-stop fighting, it finally stops as a new country joins the alliance. The war. And that country is, well, the Indonesian country, and they're also kind of annoyed of this because they keep saying Bangladesh gets like no trade route. They only get one going through their country, while like Indonesia and China got like 4. So yeah. They're gonna join the war, and they're immediately gonna send their ships up north here, and they're gonna make not a huge landing, but a landing right exactly on their capital, and they're gonna start to invade until the group gets bigger as more troops arrive, and another landing takes place here in the trade route, and they eventually connect. And over here, also, they only really have like a couple other major cities. The ones over here were kind of taken by China, so. Yup. And the group grows super large that they eventually reach the northernmost part of this country. Don't mind that, pretend that never existed. And they start to invade even more. And more. Just gonna take that away for a very important reason. And they do eventually surrender, and we're gonna look at this peace treaty. So, yep, Bangladesh does leave the alliance, and they do lose their biggest province and their capital, forcing them to move it somewhere up north where there are literally no countries, and probably the farthest waypoint out of all countries. Yep, and still got some time. So we're also going to see more exploration taking place. It's going to be pretty big. not too big, but it does end up getting bigger as more people join this exploration, and more of the world is mapped out until they eventually reach a lake that they've been looking for, as they've been looking for a new clean water source. This water source isn't that clean, but isn't that clean. So, yeah, whatever. So they're just trying to find water source. It is safe enough to drink, but still it's not the healthiest. And you're probably wondering, dude, you literally said in the last episode it was literally winter, and yes, you're right, but it has kind of cooled down. I don't know why. Probably due to all radiation and stuff going on due to wars. There hasn't been any recent wars in Asia, besides maybe the one that just happened, but whatever. Also, countries over here in the Middle East and South China and South Asia are exploring even more of the continent, and they find 2 other lakes that are just a teeny bit cleaner than this one. And this does eventually grow way too much, and at least 10 explorers died during this operation. So yeah, they do stop due to what just happened. And this is going to cause probably the biggest breakthrough and expansion ever. This is kind of a 2 era, like a double era, because it is the expansion era and the exploration era. But yeah, this is going to cause some countries to expand quite a bit. And China's the first one to take action, as they take a lot of land. God, gotta fix this every single day. Every single day. Every second. Korea is the second one to act. It's called. As they do expand a little north over here. So they also take this island and the rest of Japan. And for some reason, they do give the rest of this part to China. Oh, what the heck? What just happened?
Wow, Walmart has a lot. Give it here.
And for some reason, they do give the rest to China, which is kind of weird, because that could have been really useful land, but they do have top secret laboratories and stuff, and they are in the top 10 with the most technology, with the best technology, and they're at number 9. Also, I will be doing a technology map in the next episode I'm not gonna spoil it yet. Okay, so Denmark, cities do get destroyed quite a bit, and they accuse the brown team because literally they control this whole sea. There's no other country who could have done that, but they're like, bro, like all of this water is frozen, and then they said, then you probably did it from land, and they said that all their cannons were shut down, and all the boats that were in the non-frozen areas were all on the ports in England and Wales, And this is going to start the Great European War, which could lead to World War One, and don't want to spoil it. So yeah, this is going to be the end of the episode, and I will be making a short of all the countries that will be included in the war, and maybe World War One, which could lead to the collapse of some very big countries. Don't want to spoil it, and so that's going to be the end of the episode. Thank y'all for watching. Goodbye.